Tell me the sort of things that your mother told you about her own childhood. What did she tell you? What do you know?
Well, I mean, her mother died of childbirth. I know that. She told me. And her grandmother, she had 80 pupils in her class, Panula de la Cristoforidis. She had 4 boys and a daughter. And one of the boys was my mother's father, which my grandfather. And he was in the he was in the First World War, the Greek army and the English, I believe. So he went to both 2 armies or something like that. Anyway, he never wanted to remarry. He had a few girlfriends.
Wait a minute, that can't be right. Because, well, if the mother died when was Yaya born?
1905.
1905. So he went to the World War, like when she was 10 years old. He was in the First World War.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
so she wasn't orphaned. Just her mother died.
Right.
Okay. So tell me, yeah. All right. So her grandmother, you say, was a school teacher.
School teacher. She had 80 pupils, and she used to tutor my mother, and she had the daughter Anna, which I was named after. I should have been named after my grandmother, Sultana. But my mother went because she loved my Thea, so she named me after her. And she had 4 boys. One was Angelo, which was her father, George, Costa, and Cristo, I think.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And in fact, there was this woman, Critica. Later, my father, your papu, rented her in a house on President Street in Brooklyn, and she had a sister, but they were from Crete or a different place. I forget. I can't think of the place in Greece. Anyway, she said, I knew your father, but he never wanted to marry again. Otherwise, she would have been my mother's stepmother, in other words. Anyway.
I'm sorry, you lost me there. You lost me. You introduced me.
This woman, Mary, Maria, she knew my grandfather.
Okay.
And he never wanted to remarry after his wife died.
Okay.
So he says,
okay.
Right.
Okay. So this woman, Mary, could have been your
my mother's stepmother.
Right. So, so what was the name of this town, this village, or what was it?
No, ήταν Gallipoli. My mother was born Gallipoli, and my father from Bursa, Gallipoli.
Okay. So they must have been somewhat kind of middle class. At least her grandmother's family, her father's family must have been somewhat middle class.
Right. Uh-huh.
The mother, now she raised these kids by herself, these 5 kids by herself, or was there a husband there? Fanula.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to. Cristo was his name. Cristo, yeah. I don't know when he died.
And what was his last?
Cristoforidis.
Cristoforidis.
Right.
Okay. And so this guy Angelo comes along, and he meets Sultana.
Right.
Now, what do we know about Sultana?
Well, I don't know too much about her. I don't know. As far as Yaya told me, I mean, they never had a picture of her, but I think she had. Her mother-in-law, which was Fanula, my grandfather's mother, she said she had white skin so white you think she wore makeup. And then one day she took a mandili and wiped her face to see if she had any makeup, and she wasn't. That was her complexion.
Mm-hmm.
She died I think in her 20s. I forget what age she died of childbirth. It was only one child. My mother never knew no brothers, no sisters, and her grandmother raised her, her father's mother.
Raised her until which point? Until what age?
Until she was able to meet your papu, to get married and come to the United States. They lived in the same house. Her mother-in-law and papu all lived and rented in the same house, I think in Turkey somewhere, And then papu was working over here in the ships, shoveling coal into the ships. And then they got married, St. Demetrius in Greece. it was so crowded they had to shut the doors. So many people came to see the bridegroom, Americanos, and they closed the doors. It was so crowded there.
In Greece, not in
In
Turkey.
Greece,
Okay.
no.
All right. So let's back up because I'm trying to make kind of like a go a little bit chronological here. So Papu was born in what year?
It's 1893, I believe. I'll make sure I forget. 93, yeah.
And he was born actually in the town of Bursa?
I believe so, yeah. I've never visited, yeah. I understand, yeah.
And, which is, is very different now, of course. It's like a total, suburb with high rises and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But, so his family, do you remember the brothers and the sisters in his family? The names?
He had a sister who had epilepsy. I mean, she would fall down, like I understand. She had married this guy named Nicholas, who was also a tailor like Papu. But she had, I don't know how many, she had quite a few kids, the mother-in-law's. Maragda was her name, I understand. Yeah. I don't forget their names, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Thea told me names at one point, but,
Yeah,
I
of
didn't,
course, yeah.
but I don't think I was paying too much attention, wrote them down at the time. So Papu, I know, was a tailor, but you think he learned to be a tailor once he came here, right? He wasn't trained as a tailor as a kid, right?
I don't know. I don't remember. But he was a jack of all trades, painted, fixed things. Tailor was his main object. And as I said, he was on the boats and he used to shovel coal and everything. He had a really hard job. Yeah, he did everything,
So when the first time you think he came to America was?
Oh, before my mother arrived. I don't know.
So do you know what year she arrived here?
I don't know. She arrived at Ellis Island, I know, in November, but I don't know.
So when she arrived, they had already been married?
Right.
They came together?
No, yeah.
She got out of Turkey and went to Greece and met him in Greece? Is that what happened?
Right. They got married in Greece, but he was already over here, but she
came along. Do you know what town or village they were in Greece? Demetrius?
I think in the main proper, Demetrius. In
Athens?
Right, uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Do you know what year that was?
I don't know. I really don't know. Well, she came here, and your father was born in 1926, immediately right after,
So pretty much, you think
maybe 1925 she arrived. I don't know.
Something like that?
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they got married immediately previous to coming here?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And Papu was already here.
He'd been here for a while
Mm-hmm.
and was able to leave. He'd probably already gotten citizenship?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's it's fun. This stuff really disappears quickly, doesn't it?
I know, and all the years go by, you don't remember.
You don't remember.
Until somebody asks you a question, And but Papu had he had that sister. Maybe that's Sultan.
Okay. So I don't know where we left off, but what were we saying?
When Yaya came here from Greece, she got married in Athens, and Papu was waiting for her here in America. And she came alone to Ellis Island. She remembered, she told me one time, they had such big apples at Ellis Island when she arrived there. I think your folks inscribed their names. I'd like to go see.
I think they did.
Yeah, I like to. You've seen them?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I'd
like to go to see some. Anyway, so and Papu had hardships. He worked in during the war. He worked at Atlantic Basin Iron Works, the yard down on Van Brunt was that the Navy yard. Anyway, way down. He wasn't paid much, but he used to go there. And then he did tailoring. He opened up a tailor shop here on 9th Street and 6th Avenue, because I used to help out after school. Yeah, I used to come in the morning, sometimes leave the beds undone and go. Very cold tailor shop. Now it's been renovated into a 3-story apartment house. I passed by because the school is next door, and the library is on the next block, which I go for computer and things like that, you know.
So how long did he have that shop? A couple years?
From 1947, few years. It was called Pal Taylor. It's very cold. I remember we had that 27 inches of snow. It was small in Brooklyn, yeah, at the time. It was very cold. I used to press and sew, and I had a cat there. We used to leave her overnight or something. And somebody came at the cash register, and the cat put his paw right on him and kidnapped him. He was going to rob the cash register, which wasn't much anyway. But Papu had to go out to another job and work to make up the difference for the rent of the shop, you know. And yeah, they were hard years. And Papu never let Yaya work. He said a woman's got to stay home and take care of the kids and no going out. Yaya was very handy. She could sew, she could knit, she did everything, you know. Yeah, like all other mothers. But the husbands wanted them to stay home and take care of the kids. And your father was born in 1926. He was a skinny baby, Yaya. But she had trouble with his belly button. She used to take him back and forth to the hospital, you know. And yeah, she had a hard time. She had many hours, I think, before she gave birth to him. Yeah. And then there was Chris, and then there was me. I was 11. Well, she had 6 miscarriages, and the only 3 survived. You know, your father, your Uncle Chris, and me, and I.
6 miscarriages?
Right.
Really?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And were some of them before my father? They tried to.
Oh, in between.
Mostly between.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
What year was Chris born?
Well, 5 years was
5 years?
Yeah.
She's 5 years younger?
Yes, then after. Mm-hmm. Then I'm 5 years after that. Mm-hmm. Right. But I was a big baby. I was 11 and a half pounds. I was so heavy that the doctor took me all over to show me off in the house. The biggest baby in the hospital, Cumberland. Yaya. In fact, Yaya was supposed to give birth, and then she went back to the house. It was this Greek neighbor, of course, who used to have a restaurant, Shortisaita. In fact, her daughter married the Kunzamani brothers who have the traveling. Anyway, so they saw the lights on. Oh, Tayenisi Angeliki, but it wasn't. She had a big belly. She would open up and clean the windows and the belly, and people, the neighbors thought she would fall out. You know, she had a big belly. I was 11 and a half. So the doctor took me around, showed me off. And there was this nurse who scared her. Oh, your baby's lost. And that triggered a thyroid in my mother's neck. You know, she got so scared, you know. I was a big 11 and a half. I'm still a big baby. So Papu had a lot of jobs, painting, sewing. He used to have his cousin, John Rosidis. He used to paint elevators in New York down on Houston Street. And, yeah, Papu worked hard. But he was able to get your father and your uncle through school, college, you know. And, he used to wait online. There was the Depression. Yeah, I used to say he had to wait all day for 1 can of Campbell's soup to feed so many kids. That's how bad it was. Yeah.
Back to Turkey for a little bit. Okay. So when Yaya was growing up, was she the only child in the house? I mean, had the other, all of her aunts and uncles were already kind of grown and up and
They
out?
were grown, but what's her name? The one who lives in Washington, your aunt?
Effie.
Yeah, she used to take care of her mother. Was a widow, very young, and and she used to take care of, not her brother. She'd take care of your Effie, and comb her hair and braid her hair, and take care of her, babysit, is it tell?
My yaya, Angeliki, took care of Effie.
Right.
I see.
For a while,
For a little, just kind of around.
Right.
But what is the Sultana's mother's name? The Cristiforidi lady.
Fanula.
Fanula.
Yeah, that's a great
Okay,
name.
so we got Fanula.
Right.
Let me do it.
Her father's mother.
Right. Okay, so we have Fanula. Right?
Right.
And then we have the three boys. We have Angelo.
Right.
Christos.
Christo.
Yeah.
Costa. I think there was a George, too.
And Yorgos. And then there was a woman.
Yeah, Anna.
Anna, right. Okay. And so Angelo had this other, his wife who died, and the only one is Angeliki.
Right.
Okay? Now, what is the connection with this family and the Magalos family? How is it that Papu came into this,
Well, it just happened that they lived in the same house. Just happened, I don't know, later on, that my mother's mother-in-law, they lived in the same house, and they got to know each other, proximia, and with Papu, and eventually they got engaged and they got married.
So you mean they lived like in the same house that had...
That was later on.
Yeah.
Not while I was growing up.
Right.
She was still over.
I see. So she probably didn't meet Papu until much later.
Much later, yeah.
Until she was already in her teens.
Right.
And so they were neighbors. Practically, they were more like they were neighbors than anything else.
Right.
And so Effie, and that's how Effie's mother had been widowed.
Right.
And so that's how Effie was like 10 years younger or something.
Yes, right.
Okay.
And
but when Yaya was growing up, she was the only kid in the house.
Right.
These other ones were kind of. It's not
well,
like
there's a story she told me which was true. What was his name? Costa, one of the brothers. Well, there were two bad cases. Was that the one? Was she? Well, not bad case. Well, anyhow, it was just like it's a real story. Tom. One of them, he was in the First World War. I don't know. Oh, he has a buddy in the war. He says, whoever goes back is to marry my sister. So my uncle, I think it was Costa, he goes back to find the daughter, and they see they're carrying her casket outside of the church. And and I think she was, the mother or mother-in-law to be was Romana. So she brings her to the house, because the daughter was dead. Of course, he couldn't marry her. So he brings her to the house, and Fanula, his sister, she's, ma sefer is grial, mesas to spiti. The Bursa na briskamyanea. And as she was holding a plate of salad or ansuyas or something, my Aunt Anna he took the plate and threw it in her face because she didn't know the story. Then she started crying, and they took her as one of their own because the mother didn't have anybody. She lost her daughter, and Romana, she used to, and they took her into the house, and that was one of the stories. What was the other one? There was this other one. Yaya used to tell me, he married this woman, I think it was, Nakosa was that one, or Yorgos anyway. So he's married, and every time the kids reach a certain age, they die. And this last one was a daughter, was a girl.
These are Costa's kids.
No, I think it was George. Costa was the other. She reaches a certain, and he's out in the war. And he couldn't be sent back at all, no matter what was happening. And the kid was on her deathbed. So he said, "Nabyi psikitis," so her, how do you say it in English? Nabyi psikitis, her soul. It was towards the end, And they said, he couldn't come back from the war, no matter what. And they took one of his leather jackets, and they threw it on her, and she expired. And he came back. He had lost all his kids.
Really?
They grew up to a certain age, and they would die. Yeah. And then one of the brothers, Angel, would see him walking the street. He lost his mind, that the kids would throw things at him because he lost a kid, and everything was downhearted. That type of thing. I went through. Oh, she told me about this. Those vasos and the names, they depart every time. And Kyriakos, he was a captain of a ship and he was retired. And he had this daughter who wanted to marry this boy. I don't know where he was from. And the father was against it. And the girl, because, they said that he might have gotten rid of him. I don't know. Anyway, so the girl was so disgusted that she joined the nunnery. And she retired in there. She was old. That she sent the money to Fanula, but Fanula didn't want anything to do with the money. Yeras in the nunnery there, because the father, I think he got rid of the son-in-law to be, because they said when they exhumed the body, his bones were black or something like. They thought that he was. Well, no. Anyway, the thing is that Yaya was such an orphan that they used to feel sorry for her. They used to make a special soup, and she used to go over there and they used to give her soup. He was captain. That's true stuff.
Did she talk ever about, I don't know, what sort of things they would do there, the kind of games, the kind of...
games? She never told me about games.
Did she talk about things like, I don't know, like, would she have to work, did she have to do work as a kid? Did she have to work in fields or do anything like that?
Not that I know. She never told me that. But she used to help around the house and do cooking, do different things, But her Aunt Diana was a real... Anyway, I visited her in Greece. Ask your father. She was an embora. She used to take people. She had her own house, and she had adopted it. She never had any kids. She adopted this girl at the end, Artemisia. Your father met her. And she used to make her carry big, heavy trunks like that on her back. That she always had, we went to see her in 1956. She had a miscarriage. Who wouldn't have a miscarriage? A young girl lifting trunks like that. She treated her like dirt, And, but she married a nice boy, Thomas, at the time, But later, I don't know what happened. She willed all her house to her, And
so where was Anna living? She was living in Athens?
Neo Fire. Yeah. She was a character, But she did. Yaya said that she didn't want to take care of her mother, Fanula. That she had gone to. Where did she go? I think she went to Smyrna. I don't know. She took a boat, canoe. I don't know. And she had left her husband. No, I don't know. She was pregnant or that with one of the kids, and the water was rough and everything. And she saw the icon of Hagia Marina in there, and she brought it back with her. She said, "Go back." So she said, "Agria, neas poikis, the heel." She was going there. Itanagri says, "I'd rather go back and suffer than have me drown with the kid that I'm carrying." I think it was Angelo, her firstborn. Yeah. And, anyway, Anna, the last one of the Mohicans, didn't want to take care of her mother. So, I think she went to Smyrna, I don't know, the Fanul. And, there was it was Smyrna, I think. There were seven families that caught fire that day or night, and she was in one of them, and they found her like a little cat. She was burned to a crisp, Panula, and this guy saw that she had things, said, "I'm not going to touch them, Agrieftic," he saw her like that. All 7 families were killed because of the fire. And that's a true story. Oh boy. I have pictures inside of Fanula.
Really?
I used to call her Yaya Mani. Yeah, I have a little picture inside.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah. And let's see what else. Well, Papu sat. Well, I know he had. His mother used to always wear black and walk around with a Bible in her hand. She was very religious, Esmeralda. And she had a few kids. She had the daughter that married a tailor. He used to beat.
Who's this we're talking about?
Papu's mother, Esmeralda. Yeah.
Okay.
She had a daughter. What's her name? Well, she married a tailor who was named Nick, and he used to beat her all the time. I forget her name, but
The daughter married.
the daughter, right.
Okay, what was Smaragda's husband's name?
It would have to be
Tanasi.
Thanasi, yes, Thanasi. One time when your mother and father went to Greece, they saw Thanasi Magalos. There's three of them. I don't know. If they're still alive, I don't know. Yeah. And she used to walk around, and then she used to scare the neighborhood kids because they didn't want to eat, and she would say, "Oh, I'll fix her." She used to wear a black hat with black. They thought it was Dracula or something. She used to scare the daylights out of her. And she's a very religious woman, and he had a picture. I don't know. Well, it must be in the house there. I had a picture. I think she lived to be 120, her mother. I told our doctor, he didn't believe it. Why? They lived in those days. 120. Papu's not around to tell you. Smaragda, yes.
Really?
Really, 120 around me. Yeah, Papu's not around to tell you. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah.
Really? Of course, my Athanasi, my father, doesn't believe any of these stories.
So.
He doesn't believe any of them.
Anything you tell him.
He doesn't believe any of it.
How's your brother Chris doing? Is he?
He's all right. Yeah.
He's not going for any operation.
Well, he might go for a hip
Oh,
replacement.
gee.
I think they're going to, he's going to look at it seriously and see how long.
Oh, gosh.
You know.
I have my knees. I try to walk a lot and do the best I can. God forbid. Uncle Chris had a hip something, and it still bothers him. Come on, get out of here.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Poulos said the last time I was at your mother's house, she was going in for something like that. Oh, boy. I don't know. They say acupuncture. Uncle Chris was taking acupuncture. I don't know. He's making out.
It's good. It can be very good. Very useful.
Anyway, so.
What else? Anything else? Any kind of lifestyle-y? I don't know.
I don't know lifestyle. I don't know. We have no skeletons in the closet.
No. I'm talking about in Turkey. Any of the stuff from Turkey,
Oh.
Like, did they go out and listen to music? It was very.
Oh, yeah.
The relationship with the Turks. I mean, what sort of a very separate life? Were they interacting quite a lot?
They interacted. They had a lot of Armenians. Yaya grew up with a lot of Armenians who were very good people, I wanted to go to Turkey. Well, maybe next. I'm having my passport renewed. I'm waiting for it to come back. I haven't used it, so I don't know. You thinking of going to Turkey at all?
We went last year.
Oh.
Well, we only went for one day.
The whole family?
Yeah. So yeah, it was very nice. I mean, it was like, you know what it was? It was like Greece was 30 years ago. Greece has lost all that, but
Well,
Turkey
I only went
still
once in '56 on the boat. I sang. In fact, I sang for Tennessee Williams.
What do you mean?
In 1956, he was on the boat.
Was
Queen
it?
Frederica, yes.
No.
I sang for him. They were good old days.
What songs did you sing?
I sang Love is a Many Splendid Thing. For him, anyway. But I sang the Greeks. We had a Greek band on there. I have pictures inside.
And he was going to Athens too? Where was he going?
Well, I guess, yeah. He was locked outside. He had a barrel chest with all hair. This other woman who wrote Magambo there. We had a really nice trip. It took about 11 days to go, 11 to come back. We visited Fianna there. That's a person last
Who'd you
time.
go with?
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, really?
I wasn't married at the time.
Mhm.
56. I'll show you pictures inside.
You got pictures of that
Oh,
trip?
do I?
Well, let's look at them.
Yeah, okay.
So this is on the boat.
On the boat, yeah. Mr. Longi. I sang with the Greek orchestra there.
Wow.
I was Kerkera bride, you know. I had more pictures of
There's
me.
the guitar.
Yeah.
Little string, just a little string around it there.
Well, I had other pictures from the boat. What did I do? It must be inside.
We'll find it. So did you have pictures of Yaya from the same trip?
Yeah, but it's in a. We're sitting at a table. Huh? As I mean, she graduated.
So where was this taken?
Oh, probably. Oh, it was taken here in the United
Here,
States.
after they got
She
here.
was pregnant with your father.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's a Greek. I used to march in the. I marched this year, and Irene had marched too. But I marched the 3 high rocks.
Is that Harry? Is that Harry?
No, that's the old boyfriend.
The old boyfriend. You can keep pictures of him.
No, shouldn't. That's the girl.
Oh yeah.
Look how
That's the
small
young
they
cousins.
are.
Yep. Coney Island. Who's that?
That's
the other boyfriend's mother?
no. That's the sister-in-law of Mike's, Nick's brother, Mike. He's got a second wife now. Hey, those pictures on the boat must be somewhere.
Yeah.
That's when you exchange their vows.
Right.
Remember?
When they retook their vows. Yes. Hey, look at that hair there. That must have been 25 years later, right? So it must have been like 25.
No, is it that long?
Well, it was 25 years after
Right.
after their
Your-
original
both
marriage.
grandmothers
It was
were
the 25th,
alive,
yeah,
right?
it was the
Yeah.
25th anniversary.
Right. That's your wedding, remember?
That is my wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be CL. I remember this, huh?
Where did you ride off to after that?
Well, this
I
is
saw
great.
great pictures.
Yeah, very good. I'm going to actually look at these in
You
the
do,
light
yeah.
because my eyes are not
Oh.
so good, you know.
You wear glasses?
I noticed that gotten worse this week while I've been here in New York.
Why in New York? You
I
stay
just
in the
think
sun?
I'm so tired.
Oh yeah, that's it. You should eat a lot of broccoli and spinach. That's good for the eyes. Never mind the carrots.
How do you like that? Look at this young wife of mine.
Oh, she's still young. You got beautiful hair. All
She's
your
still
daughters,
beautiful,
they
but
all
she's
have
not young
beautiful
anymore.
hair. Beautiful hair.
She's still very beautiful.
Yeah. How did you guys meet?
We met at in an office, a film company.
Uh-huh. How's her brother? Still lives in New York?
He lives in New York. That's where I'm staying.
That's,
Okay, there's
that's
some
the
older
Annie.
pictures.
That's good.
Who's that beauty?
Who do you think?
I don't know.
See?
That's a different guitar.
No, that's a different guitar. Yeah.
That's a nylon string, I think. Isn't that,
That was
a
somebody's.
classical guitar?
Somebody did.
Oh, there.
That's my Sweet 16. That's it's one of yours. I don't know, Elena or
You think?
yes.
In one of the it would
Yeah.
have to be Elena in the outfit that
Yaya made, yeah.
An Afghan outfit.
She
Wow. And so it must be Elena, poor Elena.
Oh, what a honey.
No, I mean for the kids that they're just being manhandled. They're dressed up like it's so hot.
She should see herself now. I say, yeah,
Beautiful Sultana.
that's Irene's wedding, yeah.
September 59.
That's the kids when I was small at the 69th Street house in Bay Ridge when we lived. That's Irene.
Wow.
That's your
That's
grandma. Yeah.
my two yayadas.
Yeah.
Y dio yayadas.
Vezisa nenadune tamikra, you know,
Oh,
grown.
come on.
Well, you know, I would
My
say.
yaya on the other side will live to see what? 5, 12, 14 grandchildren. That's not too bad.
Who's that?
My yaya, on my mother's mother.
Oh. Yeah.
14 grandchildren. What do you?
Yeah.
How much more do you want? I don't know that I guess she must have seen Elena. I don't think she saw. Well, I know
She must
did
have
see
seen Elena, yeah, because
She must have seen Elena.
I don't know
Oh,
who.
boy, it's a cute baby.
I don't know. That's one of yours.
I think it might be too.
Uh,
I don't know. You know, when they're really young, you don't recognize them. Well, Yaya's looking a little old here, huh?
yeah, at the end.
Looking a little tired.
That's Irene when she was small. At the beach.
Yeah, looking a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little weary.
That's Jill's shower.
Wow.
That's Jill's wedding.
Oh yeah. That's 10 years ago.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I should have that dress dry cleaned.
There's Michelle.
There was some cake. That was some wedding.
That was a nice wedding.
Beautiful.
He's a great guy. This guy.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
So the other day, I mean, so just, you know, they were up there, so spent some time with them.
That was up when your father's birthday.
That was fun, huh?
Yeah.
That was good. There we go. It's nice up there.
Yeah, oh, heavenly, heavenly.
Although it's a little small for when everybody gets together.
Oh, we got all those beds, right?
Yeah, I know, but just everybody's tripping all over each other.
Right, who is this? This is somebody else. Oh, that's a little guy, Christopher. Not little anymore. You see the way he runs with soccer and that was at his old house, you know. If Michelle hadn't died, he would still be living in Cherry Hill.
Well, he's a handsome guy. Funny, too. Funny man. Don't you think?
He's a big boy now.
Capturei, não?
No, they
Oh,
made
it's
bad.
gonna
I would take pictures all over them.
You sure?
Yeah, I think Irene was pregnant with the little guy. This is Nicholas. Not small anymore.
Not anymore.
That's,
Time goes on. That's the thing you can't stop.
I want to show you the picture of the boat. There must be any other one.
There's more boat pictures, huh? Oh, there's a picture. Yeah. I would love to see some other pictures of her when she was younger.
Oh, yeah.
Yaya, that maybe Yaya talked about when she was young. Any other things of being a
trying to
kid?
think.
Any other maybe little, you know, these sort of things that just pop up, like other kids dying, maybe some like a disease coming into. I don't know. I'm just thinking.
Well, those are the ones her uncles went through, you know, the experience. One of the uncles was in love with this girl, but she was epileptic, and he didn't want anything to do with it. If I married her, you know, how are we going to have kids? But she was able to marry a captain, and she lived a good life, and she got cured. So, I mean, who knows? Yeah, my mother was all alone. You know, really, no brothers, no sisters. Grew up in a family like that. And she came here and had the kids and episemedizoyan, this and that, you know. Different kind of life, you know. And, yeah. It's terrible when you have a mother, you know.
Yeah, it's very hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I would have been named after her, but my mother named me after Anna. One time when we were there, the first time, well, I was there. She used to go all the time. Used to give her fresh clothes and Papu used to send packages. A lot of times he used to come back from the post office. They didn't like the way you wrapped her. Give lastimusa, you know. And she used to send her everything. And she left $80 on thing when we went to get the eclipse. You pretend that she didn't know anything about it. She was an embora, you know. And she used to rent this house to a widow, and she used to pay her in Cypriot money. At the time, when England took a hold of Cypriots at the time, so she used to pay her in that amount of money. And she had a little kid at the time we were there. You know, she was an embora. She never had kids of her own. She never knew. And as I said, she treated her mother like dirt towards the end, you know. And so she named me after. She had 3 husbands, all died. Di Africana leptai che spitia, you know. She wanted my mother to go over di grapsi to spiti. Mama said, no, come on. We were there, it was an earthquake, and she started laughing. You know, everything was shaking. You know. So I gave her H-E double L, you know. You know, she treated us like, you know, I said, never, how dare you treat my mother that way? And I said, the heck with you. Yeah, she was ill. Anyway, so she willed the house to the daughter that I told you.
Artemisia.
Yeah, Artemisia. Your father met her. Yeah, time.
When he was there in the 40s.
Yeah, before he got married, or after, I don't forget. Yeah. Anyway. So,
it must have been something then, huh? I mean, Greece must have been just like
it was
desolate. It was like Iraq. Probably.
Yeah, it was hardly anything, you know.
Yeah. Just dirt and.
Yeah, it was pebbly. We used to go to Glyptis. It's all pebbly in the thing, you know. We were able to go to Pizabra. We went on the Cascala at the time, and we took her with us, Anna. And she said, oh, Anglitosa me Paracalusa, you know, because it was right close to the edge. Now they fixed it, I understand. Some soldiers were killed at the time. Right at the edge, it was going like, and the buses were coming on the other end, you know. Boy, I said, oh. We went to Pizabra, and where else did we go? We went to see Katina Paxino. I don't think we were able to get in there.
Really?
Yeah, it was at the time in 1956, yeah. But, you know, I used to read all the time. I couldn't sleep during the siesta. We used to take a siesta. I could never do. And the neighbors were good. They were nice, you know. But she was a pain in the butt, you know. She did so many things to my mother. She said, my mother used to do everything. Sent her new robes, new clothes, new everything, money. And, you know, she was made that way. Anyway, so I was named after her. And she married three men, and they left her money, and they loved her like gold, you know, like she's a, you know. You know, anyway, as vicious as she was, they loved her. You know? Yeah. Anyway. My mother says, you're like her, you say, you're like, sometimes I say, oh, this isn't going right, or I'll try something else. She used to say the same thing, she said. I go, you know, they closed it up, they gave me braces, they closed me with the news. I used to have a space since I was born. They closed it. I used to have a space like that, you know. So, but she was a character. I don't know how my mother, she used to go visit her all the time by herself. You know, you take the boat and travel, and, you know. One time she went to, I was making real pizza pie from the baker. I would get the dough and make real pizza pie. And Yaya would come back from Greece, and Chris would say, oh, yeah, go back. The Annie's making us good food, you know. I used to shop over there. There used to be the cheap vegetable market on 30 on Union Street.
So Yaya would go by herself to Greece to see the Anna? Really?
Yeah, always.
And she'd gone for like 2 months?
No, less than that. Maybe a month. No,
really?
Not even. She would stay long. It was always by boat. You know, at the time it was by boat. Nelas or something like that, you know. But she used to be, you know, wear high heels and, you know. But the last time we went, we took trunks with us, and things for her hardesty, She took the money that was on the thing, and my mother used to give her money and everything, and still wasn't enough for her. She used to get rent from the woman downstairs. She had a nice house, bro. 3-family brick house or 2, I forget what it was. Yeah, right on up in Fire, but what? Not the.
I know the road, Singru, right off of Singru.
There was a different name of the street, anyway. But it was nice. We were on top floor. My mother used to hang the clothes, And you say, "Oh, irtiani psia." I didn't stay long. I wanted to get back, I had left my job. I had a good job at Irving Trust Company, which is a Bank of New York, and I left that. I said, like an idiot. So I went to Greece for a month and came back, and I was sorry. I should have stayed there. Anyway. But, I mean, you said that kind of life. I could never live there all the time, I mean, vacation is good, I have this choir master. He has a house in Koloniki. He goes with his wife, And they stay for 2 months, 3 months. They'll be back in October, Yeah, but it's nice.
If you're going to go there, you want to go to the islands.
Well, they have their own. Well, they probably go different places. I don't know if they got to the Olympic. Well,
let me go. Let me see if I can find one of these things.
Now you're going to do this in this hot weather?
Oh, that's when you do it. Let's hear Mr. Lou. You want this? I'm going to hold this out here so we get a better sound quality on it. Wow.
Have you seen the My Greek Wedding?
Yeah.
I have the CD inside. Beautiful music, isn't it?
The music's okay. The movie's pretty stupid.
But the music, I always dance to it.
The only thing I like is the yeah trying to escape, and the sprinklers coming on.
No, I saw it. Sultan, one hot day I went, I was unemployed, so I went downtown Brooklyn. I took the bus and I saw it. It was wonderful. I bought the CD right away. And I don't know what other song. I haven't played, so I forget. Can't think.
Just play it. Just play this strum something. Something will come to you.
The old songs are nice. Can't think, brain numb, inspiration won't come. Can't write, bum pen, best wishes, used to write that in my graduation book.
Can't think.
Brain numb, inspiration won't come. Can't write, bum pen, best wishes, amen. I used to write it in the public school in the books. Let's see.
Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm impressed.